Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the stage our Mayor, Pradeep Gupta.
Thank you, Jim. Well, good afternoon to all of you. Thank you for attending this year's State of the City presentation that I'm doing for the first time. But before I go any further, I'd like to first thank our South San Francisco Chamber of Commerce and the South San Francisco Conference Center for arranging and hosting this wonderful lunch. Would you please join me? I'd also like to recognize at this time the tremendous work that now retired CEO Maria Martinucci of Chamber of Commerce did to grow the chamber. Her work, spanning 10 years, did much to bring our business community together. Maria, are you here? No? Well, we'll send her our thanks I will call her later on. But at this time, I'd like to also recognize the new CEO, Liza Normandy. And I can tell you, she has hit the ground running. You can see her everywhere right here when she was arranging this function. Her experience, tremendous experience in hospitality industry, makes her for a perfect fit for running our Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, Liza. I'd like to start my State of the City address by first recognizing my friends and my partners on the council who are here to give me company while I relate all the achievements we have made together. I'd like to introduce Council Member Mark Diego. Next, I'd like to introduce Council Member Rich Garbarino. And also Council Member Carol Matsumoto. Carol? And there are many other dignitaries here and a representative of the dignitaries. I'd like to also welcome them very much and thank you all, the audience and all the people who are attending this lunch for coming and listening to what we have accomplished this year. But before I start with all the nitty-gritty details, I'd like to address the fact that the month of May is recognized as the National Historic Preservation Month throughout the country. What does that mean? Well, it's time to remind people across America to celebrate their history, culture, and people. To me, it's time to celebrate the people, places, and events that contributed to this great city of South San Francisco. The sign on the hill says, South San Francisco, the industrial city. But believe me, after 7 years of working closely with the government of South San Francisco, I have found out we are much more than that. South San Francisco is not only industrious, but we are innovative and we are inspirational. And look out, we are going forward in the future like we have never done before. When you look up the word history in dictionaries, what do you find? The dictionary says that the history means acts, ideas, or events that will or can shape the course of future, immediate but significant happenings. Let me repeat again. It says acts, ideas, or events that will or can shape the course of the future. Shaping the course of the future, to me, means one thing only: change. So while we are celebrating our history, I also must emphasize we must celebrate change that's going to take place in our city and will take place and is taking place. Don't get me wrong. We must and will preserve the past, but we must also adapt to the needs of the future while building on the strengths of the past. And we have many things to celebrate this year already, just in the first half of the year. And it's so exciting. Our biotech sector has just exploded. You know, if you are all interested in numbers and things like that, I can tell you there's brand new 5.2 million square foot of R&D space in development right now in South San Francisco. But to me, it seems like right now we are at an apex where the whole world is looking at South San Francisco as its next destination for biotechnology industry. And to give you an example, recently, the San Francisco Business Times crowned our lovely city as the hotspot of the global biotech industry, global. And just 2 weeks ago, we were at a groundbreaking ceremony of the Gateway of Pacific project, which is at the intersection of Gateway and Oyster Point Boulevard. And the CEO of biotech Biomed Realty, Mr. Timothy Sean, shared with us his comments about South San Francisco. He said, and I almost quote, I can't guarantee word by word, but I can hear his voice in my ears. He said, "We are one of the 3 biotech hotspots in the world of business." You may be curious, which are the other 2 hotspots of the world that we are being compared with? Hold on to your seats. The number 2 hotspots in the world is Cambridge, UK. And number 3 is Cambridge, Massachusetts. So we are in good company. And I agree with him. I fully agree with him. You know, and why not? When you look at our biotechnology industry, we have a bunch of credentials that nobody can deny. We are number 1 in the world for venture capital funding of biotechnology industries. We are number 1 in the world for patents, technology, science. We are number 1 in the world for biotech lab space, which we as government help out with. Let's see some of the facts that are going on in the city right now. Genentech continues to grow with a lot of new plans, a lot of new developments. And by the way, I want to say Genentech has been extremely, extremely helpful to our children in the schools and the programs they have been doing under the Future Lab. We now have the Cove at Oyster Point open. We have welcomed brand new marquee companies like Merck Pharmaceutical and Google's new venture into biotechnology area, Verily Life Sciences, and many other companies you can see on the PowerPoint on the screen. Genesis Towers, you might have seen, has already started building its 2nd tower on the side. And we have a new developer at the Oyster Point area, which will ultimately transform the whole waterfront area for a long time to come. Besides 500,000 square feet of research and development building skylining the waterfront area, we are going to see a whole new set of uses of that area by our own community. We'll have new public streets. We'll have new areas for community to go and enjoy. 2 years from now, I can see we'll have over 3 acres of open space there for our community, an enhanced Bay Trail, and new streets connecting Oyster Point Boulevard to the Marina waterfront. Just imagine, to me, Oyster Point area has been the best kept secret of the Bay Area. Best kept secret. Some people call it gem. It was a gem. It has been discovered. And I wanted to thank the developers for doing that discovery. In addition to that, we in the city government are reaching out to the community to make sure that our infrastructure and our public facilities in the Oyster Point area are compatible with their desires, with their needs. We also have been submitted an application from the developer for some residential development, which is in the process right now. But beyond biotech, we all know about our biotech technology clusters, but beyond biotech, our downtown, it has become such a vibrant place to gather, especially at our newly renovated Grand Avenue Library. The library is still celebrating its 100 years celebration, but it's not resting on its laurels. We continue to respond to the community needs based on 2016 strategic plan that was put together by our library department for renovating and improving our library facilities. We have, for example, increased our STEAM programs, STEAM, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Math. It's a takeoff on STEM, just arts are included in that STEAM. We have opened technology learning centers and have hands-on activities with variety of tech, toys, and tools. And I can tell you, I brought my grandkids to the library the other day, and they had great time with our 3D printers, and they learned a lot. Both libraries have improved their check-in and check-out process through automatic handling of materials, and the program attendance in all the library programs of different kinds have gone up tremendously. It seems like we, as a city, have discovered the essential part of quality of life, that's library. Let's continue with the downtown some more. People who like to eat good food have discovered our downtown. We have 14 new restaurants and entertainment establishments. In addition to that, we are not turning our attention away from the needs of the area of housing. And because it's such a nice place to be for housing close to Caltrain Station, we are building about more than 500 units of residential development in the area. And I don't have to tell you, if you are driving anywhere close to downtown nowadays, you will see near the airport avenue, near the airport boulevard, whole bunch of construction going on. Pine Fino project, Cadence project. Many of you might be frustrated by parking situation, but listen, that's the cost, that's the price we pay. But the best of all downtown that I have to tell you in my book is our brand new Caltrain Station. The new station, Caltrain Station, will start its construction this fall. And I want to point out to my fellow council member, Carol Matsumoto. Kudos to you, Carol. She and the city staff working with her partnered with San Mateo County Transportation Authority, we call TA, to gain $49 million for this project. And also I want to thank all of my colleagues on the council who allocated required remaining $6 million to make the new Caltrain station possible. You know what this station will do besides having a station? It will provide direct entry from downtown to the station, but even more importantly, it will provide an entry point to the downtown from the station, because everybody coming to the Caltrain station will have direct access to downtown. Beyond the changing skyline, our city is also polishing its existing facilities. Our Park and Recreation Department has been very, very active on that. Like some of those parks and recreation areas that have been renovated recently, and include Brentwood Park Youth Baseball Field with new pathways and new playgrounds. San Francisco Terrace Park has been renovated. Willow Garden Playground area has been improved. And looking forward to, besides these playgrounds renovation, I think we have a whole number of things to do to make our city what it can be by maintaining and improving our facilities. I'm so proud to live here and work. And I hope you are all proud too, to be part of South San Francisco. Together, all of us, both business and community folks, we should, in my mind, should instill a sense of ownership and pride among others to continue keeping our city at its best looking form. All of us should do our little bit to make that good city, great city, even better. We have not forgotten to take care of environment, long-term issues of environment that all of us and all of you are aware of. Thank you. Thank you very much. Just this past year, we chose to partner with San Mateo County and 19 other cities of the county. There are 20 cities in the county as a whole. So all of us and the San Mateo County decided to create Peninsula Clean Energy as our official electricity provider. What were the goals of this new entity? Reduce greenhouse gas and use as much renewable resources to create energy, electricity as possible. And the kicker is electricity rates should be lower than PG&E rates. And I also would like to acknowledge right up front that we are very, very thankful to have good cordial relationship with South San Francisco Unified School District. We have started reviewing issues of common interest with the school district and finding out where we can help each other out to make the solutions happen. For example, we met last month or so and found out that there is a great need to expand our after-school care of children, because as economy improves, both parents are working and the need goes up. So this is one of the examples where both city and the school district can work together to improve the quality of life for all our community. As I mentioned, change is inevitable, but it's also exciting. We are continuing to make progress on utilizing the Measure W generated funds for our public projects. The largest project identified so far out of that funding is the exciting new community civic center, civic campus, that includes, just imagine, a brand new public library and parks and recreation building, a new state-of-the-art police facility, and a new fire station on the surface parking lot right next to MSB. This year, we plan to procure a master architect to start designing the buildings, and we hope that we will, actually, that's very important for me to bring this point, that in all these planning of expansion of the city and the new projects, we want to get as much input as possible from our community and businesses. So we are going to be starting a dialogue on all those details of designs with you. And I wanted to implore you that do not assume this is another one of the city businesses. This is going to be really important because it's going to change the way our city is going to look for decades to come in the future. This is the way we are going to be designing our civic center with our civic facilities, the way it's going to be looking to the future generations of the community. So I want to make sure that we are all in it together and we talk to each other about it. So I wanted to emphasize again, having your fingerprints on our new state-of-the-art campus for our current and future generations to come is a top priority for us. Top priority for us. I also want to point out in this context the tremendously important work our Measure W Citizens Oversight Committee is doing. The Oversight Committee reports regularly to the City Council, but also to you and to the businesses about how we are spending the funds of Measure W. So I want to thank right now, and these are volunteer citizens, and I want to thank here publicly the members of that advisory committee in doing this work for all of us. Speaking of state of the art, I want that last table, the police department. Our police department is also going and improving and polishing its techniques and technologies. They are implementing a new body-worn cameras on them and mobile audio-video system in their daily jobs. As well as they are implementing, coming out into the new technologies, to have a system of 911, not only accept calling 911, but also you can text 911 to reach them, and they will respond. And the police department continues to focus on recruiting and retention of highly qualified employees, particularly police officers and communication dispatchers. You're doing a fantastic job. I would be remiss if I did not mention the state of one of our police officers, Robbie Chan, who was severely injured last Thanksgiving Day. Well, I wanted to give you the good news that he is doing well, and he's taking care of his health now by going through physical therapy. But he, as Robbie Chan always has done, once again wants to thank his city family for all of your support. We continue to be a safe city with every large metropolitan area, but we do experience issues. The most prevalent crime at this time is vehicle burglary. This is a problem that is plaguing cities up and down the Bay Area. We are particularly vulnerable because we are close to the airport, SFO Airport, and we have many, many hotels on Airport Avenue. Now, let me not forget the fire department. Where's fire department here? Yeah, you're right here, right, close to us. we have already had an exciting year with the ribbon cutting of our new equipment in the fire department. The first time I heard this word quint, I thought I have to go back to the dictionary to figure out what that is, until the fire chief explained to me that quint stands for both a fire engine as well as an aerial ladder truck. It's a combined, like a Swiss knife, I guess, in a way. This requires it to meet all the needs of an aerial ladder truck while also supplying a fire hose, a fire tank, and a pump. And it's also outfitted with advanced communication technology to provide vital information to firefighters as they respond to incidents throughout South San Francisco. And I can tell you that with all the new construction going on with the higher level height building coming up, our fire department is going to have brand new set of challenges to keep our safety and our rescue process at the same level as before. So I congratulate you, our fire department people, for thinking out ahead in the future. And I must say that our ambulance service, brand new ambulance also, makes us one of the unique cities in the Bay Area which has its own ambulance service to serve our community, which makes me feel so much more comfortable to work in our own city. And to give you some numbers, if you want some numbers of fire department, fire department ambulances safely transported 4,056 patients, conducted more than 3,768 fire prevention inspections to support safer housing and businesses, trained more than 1,500 South San Francisco high school students on hands-only CPR and bleeding control. And you know how useful that would be in a school when some emergency services like that may be needed right away. And fire prevention personnel completed 987 municipal code enforcement cases to keep our city safe and up to the codes. And I also wanted to mention that through our fire department, the city of South San Francisco is fully engaged in county-wide emergency preparedness exercises and is readdressing our emergency operations center staff training. We all know, living in the Bay Area, that it's not a question of if, it's a question of when we are going to meet a major disaster in the area. So it makes so much more sense for our fire people to be completely trained and ready to go whenever that happens. And I have been involved with some of the fire department members who are involved in that process, and I can assure you they are the finest of the bunch. I mentioned our Public Works Department. Where's Public Works Department? Public Works Department. Mr. Yunjun? I can't see him, okay. I just wanted to say that he's our new Public Works Department Director, Mr. Yunjun Kim. He just joined us about 2 months ago. But boy, did he have his hands full when he came to his desk for his first day of the job. He has his hands full because right after the last winter storm, there was so much rain, a lot of things happened. Our roads got some, holes. Our markings on the roads became faded. Some of the trees fell apart. A lot of things happened. And we kept on waiting for rain to subside so we can start repairing those things. So finally it appears like rains have subdued, and I'm sure that we, with our Public Works Department effort, will be able to take care of those things. So please be patient with us. I know that city looks sometimes shabby with all these things going on with the rain and the damage, storm damage, but we are working on it. Believe me, we are working on it. And Mr. Yunjun Kim has promised me that he will take care of those things. Otherwise also, besides the storm damage, the Public Works Department is very busy. They have installed ADA-compliant curb ramps in various locations. They have more than 4,000 engaged SSF requests. You know, that's a new thing that we did on our website. Anybody can take a picture or call or contact us if something is wrong with the city anywhere, and we'll try to respond. We also initiated a new program called Adopt a Storm Drain. Adopt a Storm Drain. And for this, I would like to send my kudos to Council Member Mark Diego. Mark, hello. Mark, I was talking about adopt a storm drain. He brought this idea to the city and we adopted it. And right now there are 125 people voluntarily who have adopted storm drains in their neighborhoods and who voluntarily go there and keep the drains clean of debris. So whenever there is a rainstorm, we don't get flooding on those streets. That's a great program. It's an example of how we can take care of our own neighborhoods without having to depend on somebody else to come and do that. We are also implementing about 2016 street rehabilitation project, which is 3.3 miles of streets, and about 12 streets are involved in that. And believe me, there are a lot more streets that we'll be working with in the future, but this is the current plan to do those things. And lastly, I wanted to tell you how our different departments combine together to create new programs. In this case, I would say our Public Works Department and Fire Department got together and actually arranged for folks to dump their trash and e-waste. And we got, 700 trucks, 700 cars, I would say, come and dump their unnecessary waste, both e-waste as well as other wastage. And that brings me to thanking many people who made it all possible. I'd like to start with our city manager, Mike Futrell. Our city staff, spread all over. And volunteers. Who are giving 100% of themselves to their jobs. Because of this, as a city, we are in very stable position. And we continue to be stable in many directions, including fiscally stable. In fact, I must say, and I must share this with all the council members, financially we are very stable, so much so that we have been recognized, and we recently received a Distinguished Budget Presentation Award and the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting from the Government Finance Officers Association. Where's Mr. Richard Lee? We are actually an award-winning city. I think it has become our habit to win awards. I will just give you a few examples that we pulled together. We recently got recognized as being Tree City USA for the 30th year in succession, in a row. Three South San Francisco projects, The Cove, Verily Life Sciences, and the landing at Oyster Point, recently won the San Francisco Business Times Deals of the Year Award. You know, these three projects took 3 of the top 9 positions in that list. Isn't it great? Our library won the PR Excellence Award from the California Library Association based on its creative use of social media and online connection to other local organizations. Our city's after-school program, STEM program, which is a joint effort between the city's Parks and Recreation and library departments, was honored with the STEM Innovation Award by the San Mateo County Board of Supervisors. These awards wouldn't have happened if it was not for change. But change brings some pain. And because of all these changes taking place in the city, we are dealing with issues like parking, transportation congestion, and housing. I already talked about housing in the downtown area a moment ago, but let me address parking and congestion. We in the city have just completed a few months ago a parking study, a comprehensive parking study. And over the next several months, I'm assured by the staff that we will be implementing several operational enhancements which came out of the study. In addition, staff is proposing to begin planning efforts for a brand new garage, parking garage, and is also implementing and exploring several ways to reduce the demand of parking by working with you in downtown businesses and merchants and employees to get the visitors out of their cars and use alternate modes of transportation to come to downtown and shop. There are a lot of options for our residents and businesses. We are going to come out with a whole slew of those things in the next few months. So I strongly encourage all of you to be on the lookout in the near future for those new offerings that as they come out. In summary, it takes courage to let go of the past, to let go of the familiar, and embrace the new. Change can be hard. And we will certainly experience some growing pains along the way. But I ask you, please join us. Let's all join our hands together during this time of change. Let's make South San Francisco shine. During my remaining time as mayor, there are some initiatives that I want to implement to help us address the change the city is experiencing and will be experiencing in the future. One of those initiatives I want to take, and I've talked to Chamber of Commerce, Jim, to create a way of creating a dialogue from the hoteliers of South San Francisco to work with the city so that we can understand their issues and they can understand our issues. With all the new expansions going on, with all the economic growth that's going on in the city, I think it's high time, and I'm not saying it was not done in the past, but I think we should renew a dialogue between all different kinds of industries in the city and the city government to make sure that we all join together with the same goal in mind. So I welcome that kind of initiative to happen in the next few days, few months. We are no stranger to change. Nearly 100 years ago, South San Francisco was the celebrated home of a growing steel industry. We in South San Francisco produced those steel that built a nation, that built our Golden Gate Bridge. Today, We are the biotech capital of the world. Our creativity, innovation is as strong as ever. While the industry is different, the spirit remains the same, one of adaptation, evolution, innovation, and inspiration. We honor the past while building the future. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for being a part of the future of our wonderful city of South San Francisco. In closing, to quote John F. Kennedy, change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past or present are certain to miss the future. Thank you.